Clearly, it is a corporate finance program, so it's not an investment program, it's not a banking program. It's steered towards leaders that aspire to become a financial decision maker within a company, not necessarily a bank. I think the core decisions of the CFO surround around four core decisions. That would be where to invest, that's the investment decision, how to invest, that's the financing decision, how to manage the risk of an investment, that's risk management, and ultimately there's the decision number 4, that's how to redistribute money to shareholders, that would be the dividends. This would be the classic perspective of corporate finance. However, since the world has changed around finance and around corporate finance, we include so-called cross-sectional topics that recognize current trends. This would be things like sustainable finance issues, but also the role of artificial intelligence in these financial decisions, and ultimately also the changing geopolitical situation in the world. The way I describe the uniqueness is you get the best of both worlds. We have a program on corporate finance, that's the specialization, but there is a shared business core at WU Executive Academy where they also provide more of the foundations of business. So it's a very holistic program where you meet people and you create networks across the disciplines, and you also have a lot of content that integrates the knowledge from finance. Think of it like in music. You have an orchestra and you have musicians who are experts in a particular instrument. But the conductor, on the other hand, must know how all of these pieces work together. And I think my program or our program is unique in a sense that we have this business core where you learn how everything fits together. And at the same time, you then have this specialization into corporate finance that makes you very well equipped to deal with a very important instrument in this orchestra. The student starts with what we call the business core, which is a general business module that lasts for 1 year. And the business core is intended to give students a broad overview about how everything fits together. It's also a great opportunity to make connections and networks across disciplines and to meet people from other programs. And then the students specialize into their specialization, in my case, finance. And in this finance specialization, they will get a very deep and grounded education in one specific field. I think this is also related to the point I just mentioned with this dual structure of a joint business core and then a separate specialization. You can really get the best of two worlds. And the way I see the discipline of finance going is that the integration of financial decisions into other parts of the organizations and to other parts, like, for example, the strategy of an organization, will become much more important. Because a lot of the very quantitative finance work and the specialist's decision will be taken over by artificial intelligence, at least to some parts. But the whole big picture on how to make music is something that will never be sourced out to an artificial intelligence, because this is just too complex, too messy for an AI to master. Well, my job is to select the best lecturers or instructors. I like to call them instructors in those contexts, because executive education is less about lecturing to the students, but bringing a real good group of experienced executives together to learn from each other. So they're much more moderators than lecturers. And we select our instructors to focus exactly on this. how good are they at working with senior executives in an executive education setting. We have amazing lecturers from Austria, Germany, from the United States, from Israel, from Italy, and they all share this vision that executive education should be taught in that way as a group, interactively, and they all share the vision of the program that we try to create a very broad and holistic understanding of the field of finance. Well, we expect from all our students that they contribute something to the program that is interesting to everybody in the room. So this doesn't necessarily mean we target only people with a lot of financial experience, quite the opposite. So we actively recruit people from other disciplines, engineers, with people with a technical education that are aspiring or approaching a level within their companies where they have to make important financial decisions. And this is, I think, a unique feature of executive education, that you have this diversity of students in your cohort. Students often ask me, do I bring enough finance expertise? And I always respond, well, this is part of our job to give you the financial expertise. You must bring some type of expertise that is relevant for everybody, and this will make you a good student. So anybody who is aspiring to become a decision maker, a leader in a company tasked with complex financial decisions should apply for this program. Because any type of disruption will reshift the priorities of company from the peripheral issues back to the core. And the core of a company will always be finance. Without money, there is no economic activity. Without finance, there is no company. So the uncertainty we are facing today in the world is something that will elevate the importance of financial decision-making, financial literacy, and financial competence within companies. I think the key benefit is that this program makes you a financial conductor, not necessarily an expert on a specific instrument, but a strategist with a lot of financial background. And this is something that is becoming a lot more important in business practice. The second key benefit, I think, is this leadership focus. We focus on the core decisions that are relevant for financial decision makers. And the third one would be the networking aspect. Because of this structure, this unique structure with the business core that we share with all other disciplines and our later specialization, we have a very, very good network across disciplines and across programs. The immersion is the highlight for all the students. It's also the highlight for the academic director, and I spent an amazing week, usually in Harvard, so in Boston, where we have amazing instructors teaching on a certain hot topic. And then we all travel down to New York, one of my favorite cities. And we have a really, really great program where we meet practitioners, including large hedge funds, investment banks, but also companies and speakers who are not at the core of finance, like, for example, the London Stock Exchange Group and Refinitiv. So it's just an amazing week of great teaching, great courses, a lot of fun, a lot of company visits. And yeah, we all go home with a heavy heart because it's one of the best weeks for everybody. Absolutely. The next topic for the next immersion is AI in finance and the financing of AI. So we have an amazing data scientist teaching our class in Harvard about use cases of AI in financial decisions. And then we take it to New York, where we have a program that is also structured around this idea. So all the companies we are visiting will talk about this very novel intersection of artificial intelligence and finance.